Hey guys, welcome back. It's Talsy. For those of you that are new, I want to talk about a topic within the umbrella of conscious manifesting. And for anyone that watches a lot of manifesting content and is getting into consciously manifesting a desire or like really being the deliberate creator or a selector of their reality. So the topic of the video is really going to be the exception, not the rule. Okay, now lots of you are in the habit of thinking there are all these rules to manifesting, and there aren't, because essentially each of you are, the rule makers in your own reality. And so whatever you are doing is perfect as far as manifesting, because you're doing it anyway. But in terms of actually doing it in a way that's deliberate and you're getting your results, some of you are jumping from suggestion to suggestion to suggestion. Some of you are looking at other people and wondering how come they can, robotically affirm 1,000 times, I have $1 million out of thin air, and they're reporting all these success stories. And then you're thinking, well, how come I can't get what I want? And are they different? Am I doing my techniques right, etc.? Now, I want to tell you something. You're not being tripped up by your desires themselves. Your desires are yours. If that's a desire, the $1 million, and each of us have different desires, it's absolutely attainable for you, okay? But you are getting tripped up by thinking that you're doing things wrong, or that certain rules apply, and that you need to, adhere to certain rules, and you're actually the one that sets the rules, guys. So content creators and other people are doing certain things because they have a belief that this is something that works for them, and the tool is just something that reinforces the validation of having, and it's working really great because those people tend to do it in a certain way where they're not being pulled in and out and wavering and wondering whether or not something's working. And this video is going to probably help a lot of you that stress a lot, that get very hung up on time, conditions, logic, and circumstances, because I also feel like that, having dealt with a lot of clients one-on-one, that is a big we would say a block. I don't like to say a block, but that's where they're getting sort of this resistance, like they're affirming like maniacs, and then they're going, well, wavering in and out of logic. Okay, they're affirming something, but on the other hand, their logic mind is saying, okay, but how could that possibly happen? So a technique like I have $1 million, I have $1 million, or I have my SP, or I have whatever, you might think, well, it's working for other people, it's not working for me. But I also want you to be kind of cognizant of, you might be overthinking the technique, or you might also be in the habit of saying a technique, but then you're so conditioned in your own reality with your own beliefs to think about, well, I'm saying one thing, but I have to really break down how that would apply to me, because in my mind, this is not a possibility. So, I just want to say something. This is I'm not giving this to you guys as another rule or a technique. I would say, why don't you set new rules for yourself? Be the exception. For example, if you're a person that's in the habit of thinking, you keep affirming and affirming and affirming, money comes out of nowhere, but then you find that your mind wanders back to, but it's impossible, or what about if I need to go and try to find somewhere where I can make that money, or other people are getting it because they're lucky and I'm not. Or in the case of an SP, some of you, you're perceiving no contact from a person, but you want to be married ASAP. Other people are reporting on forums that they are affirming from no contact to married, right, in like a matter of weeks. And so the only rule setter is really you, and the only reason why you might be thinking that other people, it's possible for them and not you, is you, okay? So some of you put a lot of conditions and, reason about why something might be hard or take time. And so it wouldn't matter what kind of techniques you're doing, there's a perceived delay. So when I talk about setting your own rules, what about a rule being that you set the rules? So some of you, it might be, I'm the exception. So if you have a belief, right, because the outside is just reflecting you and validating sort of what you believe to be true or possible, right, or probable. So For example, guys, if you have a belief like you're manifesting SP for marriage, and right now they're not in one reality, they're not talking to you, so then you're affirming, we're getting married, we're getting married, we're getting married, but you find that you are wavering and your logic mind is going, but it's going to take time because I need to wait for them to text me, and then there's going to have to be 5 months worth of dating, and then after 5 months of dating, then they might decide to move in with me, etc., etc. Do you see, all you're doing is you're creating like a lot of delay, or you're questioning whether or not your decision, like we're getting married, which could appear much faster than what you would imagine, you're kind of questioning that and you're wavering, and then, you know, you're setting your own rules, like, right, they're rules in themselves, like that there has to be some logical sequence of events. And then you're looking at other people that are robotically affirming or doing certain techniques, and you're wondering, why don't I have my manifestation? Then you're trying those techniques, and then you're trying other techniques. Now, guys, what about setting a rule for yourself? I'm the exception to the rule. So in your mind, in your reality, you might have a belief that things like that are hard or take time. So what about telling yourself, no, I'm the exception. No, those sort of rules don't apply. Or I get my manifestations instantly. Or if you have trouble where you believe that you don't do things correctly or techniques don't work for you, say, I always do everything right. If you have an issue with believing that your mental diet, you know, your thoughts aren't in alignment, or you keep stressing about that, why don't you just say, my thoughts are perfect, I set the rules, I'm in control of my reality. I mean, things like that, I have found personally, guys, for me, have really cut short any like wavering, any spirals. They've brought me back into my power. That in itself is reclaiming an identity as, you know, the version of you that is in total control of your reality, and that actually sets your own fucking rules. So looking for people outside, it's totally fine to, you know, take on advice from other coaches and to use techniques and tools which are just a reinforcement of having something. But this is a specific video for those of you that find that you keep jumping too logically to why something could not apply for you or work for you. Or some of you that feel like there are certain rules or restrictions on you. You set the rules. So you could make a rule that no rules apply. You can make a rule within your world that you don't need to robotically affirm that you get your manifestations instantly. You see evidence of your manifestations every day unfolding perfectly for you. You can make a decision, a rule in your own kingdom, in your own world, okay, in your identity, that you get what you want no matter what, okay? I'm just saying that these are blanket statements, and again, this is not another rule for you to follow, and I'm not telling any of you to deviate from anything that you've been doing that's been feeling really good and that is working for you. I just have noticed that, first of all, I've never liked rules myself, and I get bored with doing certain things, and it's one thing that I found has really helped me throughout my own, you know, evolution of conscious and deliberate manifesting, is to remind myself that I set the rules. And it's also helped me to skip steps, okay? So some of you feel like, well, a belief in itself would be I need to robotically affirm for 3 days in order to get something. Now that might work for you and you might want to do that. Some of you might decide that you don't want to do that, or you might feel like you are being forced in your mind to do that and you have a resistance to it. So rules would be, I have no resistance. I'm the exception to every rule. I get what I want instantly. I mean, these are just examples, but like really examine what it is. Where do you keep, for those of you where you feel like you are not seeing valid, you know, you need to validate for yourself anyway, guys, because you get to decide what is true, what is working, what is not working. But for those of you that keep having, you know, your ego mind pulling you back, saying this can't work, I'm not working, it's not working for me, it's working for other people, or you feel like you're constantly you're affirming one thing, then you're getting intrusive thoughts and you're wondering why this particular affirmation that someone else says or does is working for them, then think about you, because each of our minds work differently. Each of us are conditioned in a certain type of a way, and you're a perfect manifester, but you need to set your own rules and decide what you say is law, no matter what. And so if you find that you are in the habit of looking for, almost unconsciously or consciously, you keep going and looking for holes in what you're doing, how you're doing it, then why don't you just set a rule that you do it perfectly, or that you, whatever way you do it is the right way? Because that's all you need to know, guys. Your way is the right way. Okay? And then don't look outside of you for validation. If another coach is helpful, or anything that I've ever suggested, or anyone, then yes, do it. But remind yourself that the only reason why it's working is because it's you, okay? And for those of you that don't want to adhere to what other coaches are saying or what other people on forums are saying, don't let that deter you from your decisions, because it's only your decision, and you're sticking to your decision and accepting it as true for you. That's going to then, you'll get your deliverance. You get validated from what you assume to be true, okay? From your acceptance of having something, because you already have it, right, guys? We've done that enough in other videos. As consciousness, you encompass everything. Your desires come from you. Creation is finished. You're only making a selection. And so you don't need to wait. Time, logic, circumstances, conditions don't matter. There's a time lag only if you perceive a time lag, if you believe you need to wait, if you believe you need to do millions of affirmations, if you believe something takes 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, any of that. All that matters is the rules you're setting for yourself. And that is it. And your rules are correct, guys. So set your own rules today. Be the exception. Or if you are following someone else's suggestions, decide it works, because that's a rule. All right? You're the God of your reality. You're the only one that gets to decide what works, what doesn't work, what is true, what is untrue. And the outside must validate. Everything already is there for you, waiting for you to just claim it and accept it. And I hope that this video has helped you. And for those of you that are in my shifted course, my program where I take you through conscious and deliberate manifestation, embodiment, and even SP manifestation, I've just launched my Discord community where we're going to do live calls monthly. And I really am excited to have a community where we can talk about this, because this is a place where we create our own rules, but also, it's a place to uplift one another, talk about success stories, also where I can do Q&A with you guys and answer some questions where you feel like you are wavering. But it's for people that are really into manifesting from their higher selves and embodying, the truth of who they really are, which is the gods of their reality. And so I hope to see you guys over there or over at Shifted. And either way, I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.